So give a brief introduction about yourself.
I'm Aishwarya-Aarohan. I have done my law and LLB from Utkal University, Bangalore. Then I did my PG from PG Department of Law, Utkal University, Bangalore. And my father's name is Ravindranath Mahapatra. Mother's name is Aishwarya-Aarohan. My father is a retired government employee, and my hobby is doing yoga.
Okay. Introduction. Jodi भी पचारले tell us something about you. ସେମାନେ interview रे clearly କହିଦେବେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଯିବା ଆଗରୁ କି ନା କହିବେନି ଆଉ ଆପଣ କୋଉଠୁ ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି ମାନେ ଡୋମିସାଇଲ ମୁଁ କଟକରୁ ଆସିଛି ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ଆସିଛି କି ସମ୍ବଲପୁରରୁ ଆସିଛି ବ୍ରହ୍ମପୁରରୁ ଆସିଛି ସେଇଟା କହିବେନି ଏଇ ଦିଟା ଛଡା ଆଉ କିଛି ଯାହା ପଚାରିଲେ ସେଇଟା କହିବେ ଓକେ ଆଉ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ଡିଟେଲ୍ସ ଟୋଟାଲ ଦବାର ନାହିଁ କି ମୋର ପ୍ୟାରେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ର ନାଁ କଣ କି କଣ. So if they ask you, introduce yourself. Okay, so you can start with. So I have completed latest qualification first. PG course. So I have completed my post-graduation in law or continuing my post-graduation in law from this university. Okay, with specialization in this and this. I did my bachelor's in law with honors from this university, passed out in this year. I won gold medals in okay. ସେତିକି sufficient plus 2 10 ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଯିବା ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ ଠିକ ଅଛି ସେଟା ତ ସେ ଦେଖି ପାରିବେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଇଏରେ ତାପରେ ହେଲା ଆସିବ ଆପଣଙ୍କର achievements ଆଉ ଆପଣଙ୍କର hobbies. So my hobbies include from kitchen hobbies yoga. Okay, so yoga you have to be specific. Okay, hatha yoga hai, right? Then bodhana pranayam kari karanti, right? A different raja yoga, like the different types of yoga. Co type ro. So sida audi specify kar dile audi bolo habo. ठीक है. तापरे असला achievement. So achievement suppose I qualified in GC net ki jaha bhi apno bodi da achievement. First prize in debate competition. University level.
Yes, sir.
Sita likhi clearly. First prize in university level debate competition. Utkal University to amaro sabuto bodo cup hela debate re chancellor's cup. ठीक है सेटा आ गोटे हमर फाउंडेशन रे गोटे वाइस चांसलर्स कप हुए ठीक है तो देखिए अपन दूसरे के यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल रे एटा लिखि परिबे ओके यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल रे जे तो फर्स्ट प्राइज होती अचीवमेंट हबो तो किछि रे असुविधा नहीं ओके तो ठीक अछि बाकी why are you interested in joining judiciary currently? What are you doing? You are in some do you have some work experience?
No, sir, I have no work experience.
Okay. You completed just recently you have completed your PG.
I am preparing for judicial service.
You are full-time preparing for judicial service. Okay. Why judicial service? You have completed your LLB, LLM. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you want, you can, join in the academia.
Sir, I have when I was studying law from the beginning, I was sure that I want to go for judicial service exams because it just works for proper administration of justice. That in underprivileged, the weaker section of people, and also the people who have been deprived of their rights. So it just works for the betterment of the society and for maintaining peace and security. Means he administers the judicial service system. So I have been from the beginning very much inclined to serve in this profession.
Okay. What are your options which you have taken?
Sir, I have read personal law, property law,
and
IPC and tort.
Crime solver. You have heard about the MC Mehta case in tort? That is example of which type of?
Absolute liability.
Absolute liability.
Yes.
And what is the landmark case for strict liability?
Renal versus Fletcher was the landmark judgment.
So now tell me, what are the fundamental differences between strict liability and absolute liability?
Absolute liability means if that one is so hazardous in nature, then in all probability, if there is chance of any act which is dangerous to the society, then in all probability, if that dangerous work that involved, then they carry a liability which is absolutely makes them liable, that they are bound to compensate. But in case of strict liability, there is the person doesn't want to harm or doesn't want to cause any negligible act from his side. But if it happens, then there will be strictly liable. But in absolute liability, they are absolutely liable for whatever they do if such is so dangerous and hazardous in nature. If that act is so hazardous and dangerous in nature.
What is the difference between abduction and kidnapping?
Abduction and kidnapping. Abduction can be from any age group, and kidnapping from lawful guardianship or from outside India. Abduction is not a substantive offense, while kidnapping is a substantive offense itself. Abduction is not in its nature an offense itself. When it contains with like abduction with murder, abduction with intent to cutting any beggar or anything, then in that case that is liable. In that case, the person will be liable. But in case of kidnapping, there is enticement, and in case of abduction, there is maybe force or fear can be used.
Okay. Under CRBC, is there any provision where, parents, okay, there will be maintenance for parents?
Yes, sir. Section 125 CRPC provides for maintenance that a person who has sufficient means, if neglects, refuses to maintain his parents who are unable to live on their own, then that person will be bound to give maintenance to his or her parents. It is a landmark judgment Dr. Aishwarya-Aarohan, it has been held that doctor is also entitled to give maintenance to his parents.
You have taken personal law also, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the claim of a daughter-in-law to the property of her father-in-law after remarriage? She has divorced or husband has died. She has remarried.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Her ex-husband's father's property. She's interested in that now. She wants to have that property. What is her claim on the property of her father-in-law, erstwhile father-in-law?
Okay, sir. Sir, I'm not sure, but I doubt that the girl will not be entitled to maintenance after. It's not entitled to any property from her father-in-law after she is divorced or if she is divorced and remarried.
Okay. Suppose she is not remarried. She's a widow.
Yes. So
What is her claim over the ancestral property? Okay, of father-in-law, number one, self-acquired property of father-in-law.
Okay. In ancestral property of her father-in-law, she will get from what her husband inherits, so that property will go to her. And the self-acquired property, she will not be entitled. I think I'm not sure, but I think she will not be entitled to self-acquired property of her father-in-law.
Okay. Suppose father-in-law, okay, has no will. In that case, also she will not get anything.
Father-in-law has not sure.
Okay. So, in Mohammedan law, what is the status of adoption? Does it recognize adoption? If not, then what is the parallel arrangement?
So I'm sorry.
Okay. Suppose a minor, okay, Hindu marriage has been there. Wife is minor. Okay, child marriage, right? Wife is minor. Let's say husband is also minor. Husband, wife, both are minor. Okay. In that case, who will be the guardian of the wife?
The guardian of the wife will be his father of his personal and property. Both and one.
Whose father? Girl's father?
The father will be guardian.
Not the minor husband.
The minor husband will be guardian of his person, but father will be guardian of a property.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Other one you said was property law. Okay. What is lease pendants?
When a suit is pending between two parties, then neither party will be allowed to dispose of suit in a manner. Or if he disposes that property in a manner, then then to the whole party that is given, he will be bound by the decision of the court. Means a property is in dispute is waiting for the decision of the court that which person is entitled. If any of the parties to the suit disposes of the property in any manner, then the subsequent transferee is bound by the decision of the court. He cannot claim that I am a bona fide purchaser of a value without notice, so I am not bound by the decision. He will be bound by the decision.
What are the exceptions to compensation given under mean profit?
Mean profit.
Exceptions to mean profit.
Exceptions to mean profit. Exceptions to mean profit.
Means, suppose I have taken over the land of a person. I am not the owner. Okay, I am enjoying the property. Okay, but normally speaking, okay, once it is established that it is his property, I have to return back the money, whatever. But there are certain things which I don't have to return back. What are those exceptions to mean profit?
If I have made some improvements in that property which was not originally in there, then in that case I will not be entitled to give any compensation for that. I have acquired that property, got possession wrongfully, then I am liable. But the improvements I have made in that property and from the improvements the benefit I have got, for that I will not be entitled to give any compensation.
Okay. What are the rights of an unborn child related to property?
The rights of an unborn child. Literature section 13 speaks about right of a child who is not in existence on the date of transfer. Then in that case, the moment he wants, the moment he comes into existence, then the interest is vested. But he will be entitled to enjoy the property after he becomes against maturity. Though in that case, the moment mother conceives the child, the interest becomes vested. And the moment to start, after he gets majority, he will entitled to be possession enjoyment of property.
How many sections are there in the Domestic Violence Act?
Domestic violence actors, and there will be 30 sections.
13 or 30?
30.
30. Let's check that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So, what do you mean by judicial activism?
Judicial activism is when the judiciary takes active role in playing with on any matter or any subject of which the legislature is silent or has not made any rule. Then by governing the power of judicial activism, the court directs that certain guidelines that the state is need to follow for the benefit of people. That is judicial activism.
Okay. Do you think that the introduction of local languages in the courts will be helpful for the common people?
Again?
Do you think the introduction of local languages in the courts,
Okay.
that is present day, the topic of discussion, that introduction of local languages will be beneficial for the society?
Definitely, madam, it will be useful. It will be beneficial for the society because there are the majority of people who comes to court. They are from the deprived or weaker society. So for them, it will be easier for them to understand the language of the court. They will understand to propose their own case. They can themselves propose their case or propose their urgee. So it will be highly beneficial for them.
And okay, how do you handle failure?
Ma'am, how do I handle failure? Then failures are part and parcel of life. So whatever be the result, you have to accept and
So why do you think you want to be a judicial officer? There are other, you have done your PG in business law also, so you can join unauthorizedly in different firms. Okay, and legal firms you can join, or you can also done as you have done your LLM, you can be in academics also. So what is the thing that is that drives you towards judiciary being appearing judges exam?
The moment the from you that I want to go for judicial service examinations, because this will gives you a lot of possibilities. First of all, it doesn't carry any interference from outside. You can do your work with honesty, with integrity. Secondly, you can serve a society in a better way that by administering justice properly, by giving by listening and by giving opportunity of hearing to people, and by listening to their allegations, you can properly adjudicate that. So by you can serve society in a better way in general.
Now, see, you were saying there is no interference, but nowadays, like social media has come to such a huge scale, reaching to every corner of society. So, suppose a high-profile case comes to your court where your decisions, there is certain external pressures from different political sources, as well as there is the influence of social media, and public are also on the streets either supporting or defending whatever with the scenario. So as a judge, how will your verdict will be affected? How will you keep yourself constant from delivering a proper verdict?
Ma'am, it depends upon the judge sir, whether he goes by that support or opposition. It depends on his personal opinion, that how he keeps his integrity intact and works according to the case, not because the judge is treated as impartial and unbiased. So it is his duty to perform better and not to be affected by external factors.
Okay. Now, how do you balance in your morality and law?
It just needs to be legally good. Not necessarily morally good, but it needs to be
No,
legally.
like suppose you have some ethics, you suppose a culture is there which you support, but law does not, the case does not permit that. So how will it affect your verdict? You are going to, let me be a little more specific. Are you going to abide by the laws, or you are going to find some other way out?
I will first look for that if there are some ways taking into account the law provisions. The first will be law provisions, then I will look into that how justice can be done in an effective way so that both ethics and law can be maintained.
Do you think women judges are much better than the others?
I think it depends, and there must be gender neutrality in judgments, in taking into account judges that whether about which gender they belongs, because it is about their knowledge and ethics and about their work, not about gender. I think gender is a far more way. There may be transgender, maybe tomorrow if someone may be a transgender sitting like a judge, but that doesn't necessarily to be about she will be a female or male. That can be anyone.
Okay, since you talked about transgender, what is your opinion regarding legalization of same-sex marriages in India? The Supreme Court, especially our current Honorable Chief Justice, he pointed that he wants it that way, but government has clearly indicated that they're not going to do anything of that sort. Maximum what the government plans to do is to allow them the space. In private, they can do anything they want, but there won't be any legalization of same-sex marriages in India, at least till this government is there. What is your opinion?
So my opinion is the Supreme Court in this judgment, that is Supreme Chakrabarti versus Union of India, made it clear that the right to marry is not a fundamental right guaranteed under Article 21, and I totally agree with that. The right to marry cannot be made a fundamental right. However, at the same time, about sex, then it is that I believe that in the future they will get their rights, because as a citizen of India, they must get their right to choose their life partner and to get married. I know there will be certain difficulties in accepting that, but law cannot be static in a dynamic society. So as the society progresses, we need to accept them in whatever manner they want. It is their life and we should not interfere in it.
Okay, so under the Constitution, for one particular subject. The Constitution has given no power to the Supreme Court to adjudicate on those matters. Supreme Court or any court of the land cannot get into those matters. There is a separate constitutional provision. If those disputes come, it will be handled in a different way. Supreme Court, okay, that is the top court of the land. They also have no powers in that case. Which dispute I am talking about?
Sir, water related.
Yes,
Water related.
interstate water disputes. Okay, so how, suppose we are having a dispute with Chhattisgarh. This Kaveri water dispute was there between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So how they have been solved or how they will be solved? What is the constitutional mechanism?
So there is a provision for tribunal that decides the.
Yes, interstate water dispute tribunal. Okay, what is the difference between certiorari and prohibition under Article 32 of the Constitution?
So certiorari and prohibition. The certiorari is prohibition is when a court tries to exercise its jurisdiction, then the prohibition, the writ of prohibition is applied, that you cannot go beyond your power. And certiorari, if you have to pass a judicial proceeding also, writ of certiorari can be used. If that is nullified or not lawful, then in that case, writ of certiorari can be applied.
What is the fundamental difference between the two?
Between the two means before it proceeds, the prohibition is applied, and once it is proceeded, the writ of certiorari can be applied.
Okay. What are the restrictions which are there on certain group of Indian citizens, like our armed forces, intelligence people? Okay, their fundamental rights are not same as in other private citizens. No? So that is given in which article?
Article 31.
31.
No, not 31. Not sorry, but I'm not sure.
Check that. Okay, whether it is 33 or some other article, you can check that. Okay. What do you know about Article 370 and what was Supreme Court's latest decision on that?
He used to give the special status to Jammu and Kashmir. The Jammu and Kashmir has its own constitution, can be governed by its own laws, except like defense and external affairs, and it's to related trade laws. Apart from that, it can make its own laws, and the laws passed by state legislature will be applied. But however, after abrogation of Article 370, it becomes a part of the every act relates to whole of India, including state of Jammu and Kashmir. So the laws made by Parliament will be applicable to the state of Jammu and Kashmir now.
Okay. Okay, fine. So that will be the end of the interview. Now my assessment. Legal knowledge, you are answering well. Hand movement both. Okay. So hataro position interview re ki apana antu upare kimba godo upare depending on your height apana seiti hatara rakhi to lock kare mane seto utibon seta. Okay, so seta gote jinsa hela. Second jinsa hela, sometimes flow of speech is very fast. जोटा कि हम एते पाखरे बसिचु तो इट इज लाइक मत टिके स्ट्रेस दपे पडुची मो ब्रेन ऊपर कि को कहउचंती सेटा मो बुझी परिबे ओके सेटी टिके डिस्टेंस का अधिका थिबो ओके तो एते जल्दी कहले इकोटा भी सेमती हबो ओके फैन तो लागि नथिबो एसी अल्प इयर लगैथिबे एबे जेमति लागिची तो इको हबो ठीक अछि तो बहुत हमें कमी परिबेनी हम नेचुरल फ्लो जोटा बट सेटा टिके मिरर इंटरव्यू रे प्रैक्टिस करिवे ते निजे मिरर इंटरव्यू करचंदी ते टिके प्रैक्टिस सेटा करबे पड़ियो तो मोर हैला फ्लो ऑफ स्पीच नंबर 1 सेकंड हैंड मूवमेंट आई कांटेक्ट वाज अराउंड 85-90% टिके केतल आपण ऊपर उतल को चाहि दोथिले बट सेटा भी चेष्टा करिवे न करिया पई सेठी ओके आ गोटे कथा हैला कि जोटा जान ना इमिडिएटली कहि देला हम जाननी बोली आ गोटे कथा हैला कि अपन जेतले आंसर करूचंदी ओके वेट फॉर द द क्वेश्चन टू फिनिश जे क्वेश्चन पचारले से सारंत क्वेश्चन अपन टिके 5 सेकंड गैप दियनु तापर स्टार्ट करू ओके सपोज ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଦିଟା क्वेश्चन ପଚାରିବି। Okay, suppose my question is, what is res judicata and what are the exceptions to res judicata? এইটা আমার actual question. ମୁଁ ପଚାରିଲି what is res judicata, ଆପଣ ସେତିକି ଶୁଣିଲେ ଆନ୍ସର କରିବା ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କରିଦେଲେ, whereas ମୁଁ ମୋର ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ପାର୍ଟଟା କହି ପାରିଲିନି, ତ ସେଇଟା ସେଥିପାଇଁ just wait for 2-3 seconds, ସରିଯାଉ question, ଜାଣିଲି ଆଙ୍କର କହିବାର ନାହିଁ, then you can start answer. Okay, so for today's interview, I'll be giving you 75 out of 100. Okay.
I have already written in an assessment also what sir told that your eye contact needs to be improved. Okay, if somebody is I am asking one question, your 75% is you have to look into me, but also to the other panels you have to give a glare. Okay, so that they will, it is not a one-to-one, it's a group interview. Okay, that's the reason of having a panel. The second thing is that the hand movement, you have to be a bit restricted about that, that you need to practice about. Clarity and flow of speech is very good. But sometimes what happens might be this is, you are not doing knowingly, it is due to, as we know the answer, we get excited. And in our excitement, we speak in such a speedy way that it becomes difficult on the other person to understand. Okay, so our main motive is that we will deliver the answer should be correct and it should be taken into consideration by the panel. For that, there should be certain pauses while we speak. Okay, and like we said, we maintain a pitch or equilibrium of pitch. Sometimes with excitement, the pitch goes high, again comes down. Okay, so that should not be doing, you will be doing in your interview. You should be calm, composed, you know the answers, your answer, your clarity of knowledge, means clarity of the concept is there. Your calmness should be maintained. Okay, that will control your speech. Okay. And out of 100, I have given you 68. The only marks which has been deducted is because of the hand movement, the eye movement, and the flow. Speech being weak speedy. Okay. Yeah. You need to improve, you will be.